Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a good rest of your week in trading. We ended up pretty flat for the week, and considering the war and everything that's going on, I'll take that. Actually, I ended up a little bit up, but we made a couple of good trades this week on NVAX. Made one Monday, and actually made a trade today on it as well. So we ended up pocketing some money. That's what we try to do as a retired person. So when we take that withdrawal, we've actually made that money for the month, and we're not really reducing our portfolio levels. So that's kind of the game plan with what I do. Of course, our portfolios have gone down here recently because of the market pullbacks this year and the end of last year. So we're still down for the year. We're holding about 26% cash after today's trade. So we're doing okay as far as our levels there go. We're going to talk a little bit about NVAX earnings on this video. We'll take a glance at the portfolio as well, but mostly we're going to talk about the earnings, kind of what to expect there. They do have earnings after hours on Monday, and so going to be tuned into that real heavy. So we'll be watching that. We did kind of lighten up on our shares today, but if it takes a dip Monday during the market, we may buy those back again. Just depends, how we feel. It's kind of nice having that extra cash on the sideline too. But anyway, we're gonna think about that Monday as far as a trade goes. It's kind of dangerous to do that anytime you have earnings, so we got to be careful what we do there. But let's go ahead and get over to the portfolio and just take a glance at that real quick. All right, so here's the portfolio. As you can see here, we did have a green market, very green market today, which is 2 days in a row that we've had a pretty good market with this war going on. That's kind of what I was expecting to see the markets go up once that question is answered. That's something a lot of people don't really recognize, but what the market hates worse than anything is uncertainty. And it doesn't like to have questions out there that are unanswered. But once the answer comes across, whether it's good or bad, a lot of times the market sees that as, I've got my answer, I can move on, okay? And so even with this war stuff that's going on, and as bad as that is, the market has said, okay, I can move on. And that's what we're seeing this week. So, and the next thing is going to be the Fed March report. That's going to kind of tie the markets up as well. That's going to be an unanswered question. But expect maybe some pullbacks there, some volatility, and then watch when the news actually happens, you'll probably see things do a little bit better, okay? Because it should be already baked into the market anyway. We should be expecting it. Even if it's 0.25 or 0.50, we'll see. Okay, so here's our portfolio. Green day across the board. Oil did pull back just a little bit today. But you can see here we do have some green ones. NVAX managed to squeak it out of green today. Moderna had a really good day yesterday, but they gave back a little bit of it today. But NVAX still managed to pull out a green day, and we did make a trade on that. Let's go ahead and pull up that NVAX chart. You can see we're up a little bit in after hours. If this thing gets up to about 83 or 84, I might unload some more, but before Monday. But here we are, the chart. You can see we did have a pretty good little pullback this morning. Been a good time to jump in on some. But we had already bought some at 79.50. And so that was our last trade that we had bought. So we were trying to get out of that today. And we were able to. We got out of it at 81. So made $1.50 on those. And that was a nice little bit of money to end the week with. So here you see, though, we had a pretty good, strong day after it managed to claw its way back. And it closed pretty much close to the high there. 81.63, the high was 82.03. So that was a good little run. Let's take a look at that 5-day chart. You can see the week was, let's see, it looks like we might have had a down week a little bit, but I think it actually on Friday it closed pretty close to this here. So it opened higher on Monday, but it looks pretty good. I mean, the week ended up about flat for me, and I'm primarily NVAX right now. I mean, I do have some other ones, but not as many as I do of NVAX. So and I ended up flat. So I'd say NVAX was probably flat for the week. But well, what we're waiting on now for NVAX, you can see here the volume again, absolutely low as can be, low as can be. And anytime you get that low volume, there's not a whole lot going on there. People are waiting to see come Monday to see what's going to go on with it. So let's talk about Monday a little bit. What do we need to be thinking about? Okay, well, we're going to take a look at some expectations and then kind of go from there. So let me pull up something here for us to look at. Here is the document I wanted to go over. This is just some information I pulled together. NVAX earnings missed expectations in the last each of the last 4 quarters, so we don't need that to happen again. That would be 5 in a row, and we sure don't need that to happen. So we want to see a beat on the quarter. I don't think that's the biggest part of it though. But we would like to see it beat just so we can have the right headlines. NVAX should report initial sales of the COVID vaccine. So we did have a little bit of sales at the end of last year, some sales from the end of last year. So we should see some numbers based on those sales. But we can expect the operating expense to have increased this past quarter as well because of all the work they've been doing to get these vaccines manufactured, shipped, and all that stuff. So we can expect some operating expense to go up. During the fourth quarter, analysts expect NVAX to have lost 1.80 a share, $1.80 a share on 332 million in sales. So that's kind of the expectation. You can also expect we're going to get some kind of update in the earnings call about what's going on with the company's pipeline. All right, but this is what's going to be huge right here, and that's why I've got the title, This Will Be Huge. Will they provide guidance of any kind? That's going to be the big question that's going to have to be answered there, and that's kind of hanging out there. And what kind of guidance? Are they going to give Q1 an update on that and the expectations there, or they're going to give an all-year guidance of some sort on the earnings and revenue or revenue? So are they going to give any kind of numbers along those lines? Will they provide updates on the total ship to date or something like that, or what they're expecting to ship this year? Those are going to be very important numbers that they need to share. Will they provide updates on manufacturing sites and when they might be coming up online? They've kind of brushed over that question recently, so we need to see what they're expecting there. Next is if they provide this level of information, and the numbers are decent. If the numbers are decent, we should see a good move up, I would expect. Now, will we hit the 300 mark? I don't think so. That's probably going to be after the next quarter if we ever get to that. But maybe we can get up and actually get to 150 or somewhere between 150 and 200 if we have some really good numbers and some good expectations there. Moderna had some pretty good numbers the other day and also some good expectations, and that's why their stock went up about, I think it was about 25, 30 bucks or something like that. It was a pretty good day. Okay, if they provide this level of information and the numbers stink, or if they're just so-so, we can expect to move down for sure. We don't want to see that. Hopefully they, if the numbers stink, I don't know why they would be providing. That's another reason, if they don't provide it, it might be because the numbers stink. So, but anyway, we want some information. Again, it's the same as the market. The more information you can have, the better for anybody. So, and here's the last part here. I kind of kept this out of the view. God help us if they don't provide any guidance, okay? That's going to be a bad day. If they don't provide any kind of guidance, it's going to be something I'm probably going to have to make a tough decision on what I'm going to do with this NVAX stock. So I sure do want to see some guidance because it's going to be a bad day, and it may be too bad to even do anything because it's going to drop. If there's no guidance, you can expect a big drop, bigger than something with bad numbers versus no guidance at all. All right. the most important thing for a company is to be transparent with its shareholders. And there's a lot of complaints about the company so far. I don't think they've done that terrible necessarily. People want an update every day from the PR folks, and that's just kind of ridiculous. They've got better things to do than worry about putting out PRs all the time. But I don't think they've done enough of it by any means. I think, when you have any kind of good news, you really need to jump on that and put it out there. To, just to keep the one thing, just barely, just to keep the shareholders up to date on what's going on. It'd be nice to know, right? So anyway, we'll see how that goes. I expect us to have a pretty good earnings call. That's what I'm hoping. You can see here we are getting a little bit of movement here in after hours. I'm sure there's not very much volume with that. But if it gets above 83 or so, I might unload a few more shares just because I feel like Monday you'll have a little dip like we always do. That's one little pattern I've noticed on the shares. I mean, a lot of times you get a dip in the morning, and then you'll get it runs up, dips back down, and it runs back up. I mean, I've seen that like over and over and over again. Usually it opens higher and it takes a dip till about 9:30, and then it's Central Time, and then it goes up. A lot of times for about just like this, like it did today. You see this or yesterday. You see this here. This was 9:30. This is the market open. It went up, and it pulls back, and then you see at 10:30, and it goes back up till about 11 o'clock. Now that's 12 o'clock Eastern. That's when the big boys go to lunch, and they do their best to knock that thing down. And then we see here a lot of times it will take a run in the afternoon, and that's what it's done the last 2 days. Same thing today. We had a little pop up in the morning. You see, we did have a little pop up in the morning, and let's see where that day start. Here's Friday. Here's a Thursday. Let's get over just a little bit. That's where Friday starts. Pops up, just levels off, went up a little bit, back down, and then in the day charge. So that's what it's done the last 2 days, and it does have a similar pattern a lot of days where in the morning you'll see an initial pop, pulls back, then it goes back up. You'll see it get up to a certain level, but it get knocks down before lunch, and then between the 12 Eastern time and 1 o'clock Eastern, a lot of times it will have a little bit of a run up, and then what we've seen the last couple of days is a run up at the end of the day. This is all based off of whether the market's up to. And Moderna, we track Moderna a good bit. Today we were able to get green when they weren't, but still, if you look at the charts, you see the charts here. They're kind of shaped the same. And if you look at the daily chart, it wouldn't be much different to the NASDAQ. So, and we put that up here before. Let me pull that up real quick for us. On a 5-day, let's just pull that chart up. Okay, well, something's going on. It's kind of rough looking, but you can see Moderna is the purple. NVAX is green. You can see how close we track with them. This red here is the NASDAQ, which is kind of broken up. I'm not sure what's going on there, but and the Pfizer's way down here. Pfizer had a pretty decent day. But we track with Moderna. We track with the markets as well. There's just no getting around it, unfortunately. Some days that's a good thing. Some days that's a bad thing. Yesterday it was a good thing because Moderna was up so good. So it's nothing wrong with tracking with them. We don't mind it on those days. All right. But here you go. You see that we've got a couple that were up today. Bitcoin is making a little bit of a comeback. Boy, it got beat up really bad yesterday. HUT's really not catching up with Bitcoin. It's lagging Bitcoin. That's a Bitcoin miner. And then we got NVTA that had a nice day today, 12% up. And Nikola had a good day yesterday, but today it was down just a hair. But that's kind of where we stand. Again, Monday's going to be a big day, huge day for NVAX one way or another. I expect I'm expecting a good day, and I'm hoping that they do good with their information that they provide. We've got to get some. We've got to get some guidance there. We've got to get some guidance. That's the most important thing in that conference call. The fourth quarter numbers, we don't want to miss those or anything like that. It'd be better if we get them and hit them good and actually beat them. That'd be nice. That's always a good headline. But the most important thing is going to be the guidance. We've got to get some. We got to get some. And the updates on the ships, the vaccines has been shipped, and the expectations of that going forward. So hopefully they'll do all that. And if they do, I think we'll be in good shape. But good luck to you. Be careful trading that one before earnings. And I'm talking to myself there. So, but the company's in good shape. The company's in good shape. It's just a matter of how these earnings call goes. Sometimes they make me nervous because it just depends what kind of headlines they want to put out there a lot of times too. And the way they beat us up lately, I don't trust their headlines. But we'll see how it goes. But good luck to you in trading next week. And we'll get back on here. Probably it might be I might do something Monday after the call, or I'll just do something Tuesday night. But hope you enjoy. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Click this button right here, and we'll get back to you next week. And have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.